Before I start this video here, I just wanted to show this Model X. I've rarely seen these in person, and these things are pretty awesome. And I think I might have seen it at a Pittsburgh Cars and Coffee meet before. If I can find the owner of these, I'll try and talk to them at some point. Alright, back to me and my sob. Alright, how's it going, guys? EA40 here, and today I wanted to talk about a car-related video that has been having some mixed reactions on the internet lately. You might have heard in Texas there was a man who his name is Brett Sanders, I believe, and he has a YouTube channel. I'll link it. He recently had a speeding ticket for going 39 miles per hour in a 30 mile per hour area. And he went to court, fought the ticket, and he lost. So what happened, I believe it was Chase Bank that he called up, and he got money to pay for the ticket. However, the catch is, all that money was pennies. So he got all the pennies. It was a $212 ticket. He got about close to $220 worth in pennies, and he put them in buckets, which he labeled extortion buckets. And when he went to the clerk to pay it, he basically dumped the money onto the clerk's desk and walked out. So upon seeing that video, I had a few different reactions. I'll be honest, at first I kind of laughed because it just sounds pretty silly to do something like that, like dump onto someone's desk to pay for a ticket. And then the other part of me was like, yay, thank you for doing that. And there were some other people on the internet who were like that as well. And the reason why is because I don't always agree with some of the tickets and stuff. What's been highly suspected a lot of times is that it's really a revenue service. And I've even read stuff online on how they've done studies, and like economists have done studies and found out that like the places that are the most cash strapped and like need the money, they tend to issue a lot of tickets that also you end up having to pay. So that's why some people, even some former police officers, say that in reality it's a revenue service. And from my own experience, well, I don't have any experience with speeding tickets. I've never had a speeding ticket before, but I know people who have had them, and the way that it's easy to just get it written down to basic speeding under like a plea deal or something helps show that in reality a lot of times it is quite often a revenue system. I heard speeding cameras, those can also be considered a revenue system, especially because there doesn't always tend to be leeway with those speeding cameras. Like if it clocks you at 50.3 miles per hour, it'll mail you in the ticket, even though in a lot of cases, if it's a normal cop, they give you somewhat of a buffer zone. Like I read on a news site in Pennsylvania, the state that I live in, that the officer cannot write the ticket, a state trooper cannot write a speeding ticket with radar unless it was at least 6 miles per hour over. And that's more of just for the buffer zone with speedometers and stuff like that. So the fact that a speed cam will mail you in a ticket for going 50.3 miles per hour and a 50, the way it happened to Doug DeMuro, kind of shows that it's mostly for revenue. In some cases, they try and tack on other motives with it. Like in Virginia, they'll definitely try and fine you, but you might know of their speeding laws. Going 80 miles per hour or over, or going 15 miles per hour and up over the limit can be reckless driving, which can be fined, I believe, up to $1,000, whereas a speeding ticket can only be $250. And the reckless driving, it's considered to be the same. as a DUI and I believe domestic battery, because in the state of Virginia it's classified as a class 1 misdemeanor, which is right below a felony. Which, that's ridiculous, but that's a rant for a whole nother video. So that's why in a sense I kind of like what he did, because it can a lot of times be a revenue system that sometimes the smaller towns that issue a lot of those tickets, they don't have too much of a choice, because otherwise they'd be totally broke. But when you think about it, it's supposed to be something to be enforcing to keep safe, not so much for money purposes, if you get what I mean. So part of me is yay, the other part is nay, because that's really not a nice thing to do to someone, to just literally dump money onto their desk. I believe it was close to 22,000 pennies that he dumped onto the clerk's desk and the floor, because it didn't all fit on the desk at all. He just dumped it and literally left. He didn't stick around to get the receipt either, which had me questioning that a little bit, because I don't believe that's illegal to pay in pennies like that, because it is legal tender here in the US. And I don't believe that where they were in Texas, there were any kind of ways around that they could refuse the payment. So, yeah, it's legal, but it really wasn't that nice to do, to make them have to clean it up off the floor and count it at the same time. I mean, I wouldn't have as much of a problem with that if maybe he left it in the buckets, which, remember, he labeled them extortion buckets. So I actually kind of like that idea of leaving the buckets with them too, if you want to make that point, because then they're reading that this is, in a sense, extortion sanctioned by the government. So to sum it up, you can see why he did that, and other people will agree with what he did. I find it kind of funny. Part of me applauds him for making this kind of protest like that, but the other part of me is kind of saying that that wasn't the nicest thing to do. But anyway, I can also leave you guys, the viewers, to go make your opinion on that. So go ahead, sound off below. Like I said, I'll include the link to his channel and the video in the comments section below. Sound off below, tell me what you think. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share this channel with your friends. And otherwise, I'll catch you all later.